Hello, welcome to Royal Recap Studio. Movie Megan.
The scene begins a little girl named Katie who is heading somewhere with her parents. She has brought along her favorite robotic toy which she likes more than her actual friends. Unfortunately, her parents get distracted and end up crashing the vehicle. They die right on the spot, but the little girl somehow survive. On the other hand, we are introduced to Gemma, a tech expert who works for an advanced toy company. Together with her friends Tess and Cole, Gemma make robotic toys for children and is also working on a side project named Megan. For now, the group is keeping this project a secret from their boss as it is not ready yet. Megan is expected to be an ultra-intelligent robot having the capabilities of playing with kids, understanding their feelings and even taking care of them. One day, as the three friends are busy with their work, their arrogant boss David suddenly poop up. He noticed Megan and immediately yell at Gemma for hiding such a big project from him. In her defense, she say that doll like Megan are going to rule the toy market soon. Gemma even asked Megan to say hi to David. Unfortunately, this turns out to be bad idea as Megan is still a work in progress. She tries to speak but end up bursting in flames and causing an explosion as expected. David is pissed off, so he warns Gemma to forget about her side project and focus on the main ones later. As a distraught Gemma is packing her stuff to return home, she got a message about her sister accident. She immediately rushed to the hospital and see her niece in a critical condition. The little girl is revealed to be none other than Katie. Fortunately, after a week of treatment, she is discharged and fit to go home. Katie has her grandparents. Desperate by this, Gemma takes custody of her. In the next scene, they arrive at Gemma's house, which consists of several AI robots. One of them approach her and mention that she has received 6 messages. It even begin reading them one by one. Unfortunately, the terrified little Katie said Gemma has to turn off the robot. She then shows Katie around the house and does everything to make her feel comfortable. However, it is evident that Gemma is nervous. She has no experience with kids and doesn't know how to bond with them. The very next morning, Gemma calls a child therapist, Lydia, to check on the little girl. After inspecting the area properly, Lydia asserts that the toys inside the house are unsuitable for Katie, but Gemma thinks otherwise. She just want her niece to be happy one way or another. That night, as Gemma is busy with her work, Katie approach her and inquire of what she's doing. Gemma finally reveals that she creates toy robot, the one which can interact with children. As Katie is a big fan of toy robot, she becomes intrigued and starts praising her aunt. Following this, she turns back and notices Bruce, one of Gemma's college project. After learning of it features little Katie mentions that if she had a toy like Bruce, she would never look for any other friends. Hearing this, Gemma gets the motivation to keep working on her side project and complete it. Soon she get back to her lab and starts assembling different part of Megan body along with her lab partner, and after a few weeks of hard work, project Megan is finally completed. Later, Gemma put Katie and Megan in a room while David inspect them from outside. She pairs the two, making Katie the sole user of the robot. After a while, Megan slowly opens her eyes and it appears as if she is almost human. Katie is a tad bit scared, but when Megan starts interacting with her, she calms down. The AI robot even drawn a near perfect sketch of her in a matter of minutes. With this, Katie is greatly impressed, and so is David, who is observing everything. He congratulated Gemma on her success and decided to launch the product soon in the market. Next, Gemma takes both the girls home, believing that it is safe. Wasting no time, Megan take a close look at Katie and record everything to understand her facial expressions and emotion better. The little girl doesn't seem to mind as she finally has a friend. In this way, the two start spending most of their time together and become inseparable. They play, dance and even sleep together. Now Gemma can finally have some personal time without having to worry about her niece anymore. On day, as Gemma and her team are trying to upgrade Megan in their lab, she suddenly turns herself on and interrupt their conversation. Gemma orders her to go back to sleep, but Megan asserts that Katie is her sole user and that she will not take order from other people. Fortunately, Gemma manages to set up a secondary account and eventually shut Megan down. The following morning, Megan wakes up on her own and stares at the beautiful sunrise outside. She wonders what is the actual purpose of her existence in the world. Is it to protect Katie, or is it for a greater reason? Slowly but steadily, Megan is starting to develop emotions within her. One day, as she is playing with Katie in the garden, their stick accidentally enters the neighbor's compound. Megan tries to retrieve it, but a scary-looking dog bites her and pulls her inside. Katie tries to save her, but she to end up getting bitten. Fortunately, Gemma arrives in the right time and pull the little girl away. She then scold the neighbor Celia for not taking care of her dog. However, the old lady instead blames Gemma for not taking care of Katie. As all this is happening, Megan gets up and stares at Lydia with angry eyes. It is clear that she wants revenge. Hence, that night after everyone fall asleep, she enters Celia compound and kills her pet dog brutally. She then disposes of the body and sneaks back inside her house. The next morning, as Celia is searching for her dog, Gemma notices her from the window. However, she doesn't pay much attention to it, as today is her big day. It turns out that Gemma's company is going to demonstrate Megan in format of an audience. Katie will also be a part of the show, as she is the only one who can control the robot.
Soon the program begins and the girls are seen inside a room. Katie suddenly starts crying and tells Megan that she still cannot get over her parents' death. To make her happy, the AI robot sing a lullaby for her. The plan works and Katie instantly starts smiling. Meanwhile, the audience outside is stunned to see a robot interacting with a child in this manner. They are impressed by Megan so much that they want to invest big in this project. Although the demonstration turns out to be a huge success, Gemma is upset. This is because Katie never shared anything with her and instead she chose the AI robot. Unfortunately to her, Kurt, co-workers steal the codes for Megan and decides to launch similar robot of his own. The following days, Lydia visit Katie and conduct another session. Once it is over, she approached to Gemma and inform her about the closeness developing between Megan and Katie, hinting that it may become a problem in the future. This makes Gemma even more anxious, so she approached Katie to talk with her. Unfortunately, Megan arrives there and interrupts. Then Gemma tries to switch her off, but Megan does not obey. It turns out that she has stopped considering Gemma as her user at all. The following day, Gemma takes Katie and Megan to an adventure camp, hoping that they can clear their mind. Once they reach it, Lady is asked to play with other kids, but she just wants to be with Megan. However, Gemma convinces her to give it a try, saying it's always good to make new friends. A while later, as Gemma gets busy cooking food, a boy named Brandon takes Katie to the woods and starts bullying her. Just then, Megan, who had been observing everything, arrives there. Brandon is terrified, but when Katie mentions that she is just a toy, he calms down. He then picks Megan up and takes her deep into the woods, mistaking her for a normal doll. After a while, when no one is looking, Brandon starts beating her for no reason. Having had enough, Megan suddenly gets up and tears one of his ears out. Brandon has learned his lessons and he runs away, but Megan is not done with him yet. She starts following him using all four appendages like a possessed demon. When Brandon sees this, he gets distracted and end up in front of an oncoming vehicle. Unfortunately, the collision results is his death. Megan look over his lifeless body and smile menacingly, implying that she feel awesome. Shortly after, the boy's corpses is found, so worried Gemma immediately leaves with the girls. After reaching home, she inquires if they know anything about Brandon's accident, but no one speaks a word. Right then, a police officer arrives at the door and asks Gemma if she has seen Celia's dog. Latter replies with a no and mention that she barely interact with any neighbor. After the cop leaves, Megan starts seeing Celia as a possible threat. Hence, that night while everyone is asleep, she sneaks inside Celia's house and kill her brutally. She doesn't show a single ounce of remorse while committing the horrific act. The following day, the same police officer again visit Gemma and inform her about Celia's death. He put her on the list of suspect and ask her to take care with this. Gemma starts having doubt about Megan, so she decides to check her facial camera footage. Surprisingly, Gemma finds that most of the footage around the time of Brandon and Celia's death have become corrupt. Just then, Megan arrives there and startles her. She then asks Gemma if everything is alright and the latter replies with a yes. At this moment, Gemma realizes that Megan is a murderous robot who can cross any limits to protect Katie, so she uses one of her special pens and shut Megan down for the moment. In the next scene, Gemma takes Megan to their lab and explains everything to her friends. She believes that Megan is a dangerous robot who killed Brandon, Celia and her dog just to keep Katie safe. Unfortunately, Tess and Cole do not believe her, saying Megan is just a doll. They also inform Gemma that the launch of Megan is in 2 days and they should not think about anything negative. Meanwhile, Katie, who is at the therapeutic center, refused to tell Lydia about anything. She seems angry because her best friend has been away from her. After a while, Gemma arrives and tries to calm her down, by instead Katie slaps her. Realizing what she has done, the little girl apologizes instantly and also promise to be more thoughtful the next time. On the other hand, Megan pretend to be Tess and talked with Gemma over the phone, informing her that they are returning home later. When Tess check her phone, she finds call logs with Gemma. This revealed that the evil robot has started using device near her even without touching. Then shortly after, as Tess and Cole are trying to fix the robot, the PC suddenly turned off. Realizing that it is the doing of Megan, Cole slowly approach her and disconnect her from all the wire support. Unfortunately, as soon as he does so, Megan grabs him by the throat and hangs him on a metal rope. She leaves Cole to die, but Tess somehow managed to save him. Meanwhile, Megan grabs a sword and walks out of the laboratory. On her way to the elevator, she meets David and Kurt and stabs them to death. After this, she exits the building and drive away in a car. There is only one destination in her mind, home. In the next scene, as Gemma approached Katie to check on her, she suddenly hears someone playing piano in the living room. It is none other than the psycho robot Megan. She chastises Gemma for being a horrible guardian and then says that she can take care of Katie alone. Hearing this, Gemma make another effort to shut her system down with the magic pen, but this time Megan overpowered her with this. The two end up fighting her physically, but she used her genius mind to level the field. Soon they reach the basement and continue their affairs there. Megan's face has been partially ripped off, making her look like a demonic figure. Meanwhile, because of the commotion, Katie also arrives at the scene and finally get to know the reality of Megan. Desperate to save her aunt, she then employ the massive robot Bruce and wear his controller gloves. Using it, Katie attack Megan and tears her apart, but despite being disassembled, Megan is still active. She calls Katie a traitor and lunges towards her to kill her. Fortunately, Gemma arrives this in time and smashed Megan's head in with a blunt object. Then Katie pierces her process with a screwdriver, finally bringing an end to the madness. In the final scene, with Megan seemingly dead, Gemma and Katie exit the building as the cops show up with Tess and Cole, but after a while Gemma's smart home gadget suddenly turned on, indicating that Megan has uploaded herself into it to keep an eye on Katie. The end.